rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocket Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. And welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. Again, I am your host and moderator, Freezie. What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? All right. What's good, everybody? So I got a Sunday night show. I generally don't do these. Didn't rock earlier in the day for a number of reasons, but here we are, REW, coming in to rock the spot. So I'm gonna salute to the chat before I get to the task at hand. Cormega is in the building. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Daniel Barry Sports Highlight is in the building. Julu, peace to Julu. Julu in the spot, what's good? David L, what's good, man? David L, we need some more of your comments in the chat, bro. I think the last couple, I don't know if you was just trying to chill or what, but we need to see some more of your comments in the chat, man. I mean, I think you might have been putting the same amount, but they not like you might be holding your peace. Maybe somebody made you mad. I hope it wasn't us, right? Adam is in the building. Adam, what's good? I see you, man. So what's good, y'all? Yeah, man. So we here. One of the reasons, well, it's twofold that I'm here. So we didn't do shows earlier. And at the same time, I have I have a topic that I want to talk to y'all about. It's questions, right? So I have some questions that I want to ask. I should have probably wrote them down. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head, but I think I'm gonna write them down. That way we can stay on topic. And I just happened to, yes, Kerry Cox, I have an ink pen. Usually when I say, hey, man, I'm going to write this down, and then y'all see me fumbling. Ink pen. Ink pens are in the way when I'm trying to type. And then when I'm trying to write with an ink pen, the keyboard is in the way. Imagine that. So one of the questions I want to ask everybody, and I hope it's a interesting enough question. Is this team an offensive team? Right? That's one question. Coach B, what's good? Quiet Money is in the building. So, and here's I have another question for y'all, and this is just for to stash in the mental Rolodex, right? Just for the mental Rolodex, right? Are our role players overrated or miscast? So here's another question that I'm gonna ask, and I wanna and I'm gonna ask these questions tonight to see if we can find some reasonable resolution to the query. Are our young players, and for the sake of young, I'm gonna say 24 and under, 24 with the arrow pointing down, 24 and under. Are our young players star caliber? And what I mean by star caliber, I guess we'll get to that. We'll get to that point when we. Quiet Money says, I know one thing's for sure. This ain't a defensive team. Quiet Money. All right. So here's a question that I have been thinking about for the last 3 years, and I hadn't found a way to frame it. And I know 3 years is a long time to deliberate on a topic. How valuable is Julius Randle? Bronx Mel is in the building. All right. So I have about 3 more questions, right? How confident are you as a Knicks fan in the front office? How confident are you in the front office? And I'm going to throw in a bonus, right? Because I have a lot more questions on tap, right? But I'm going to throw in a bonus question. What star player do you want the Knicks to acquire? So that's 6 questions. I actually have about 21 questions, right? But I'm going to start with question number 1. Right? So I'm going to start with question number 1, and just really quick, just so that we can all stew or give some contemplation to these questions, but no concentration to all. We'll concentrate on one at a time. But just so that you can contemplate, right? Is this an offensive team? Are our role players overrated or miscast? Are our young players 24 and under star caliber? How valuable is Julius Randle? How confident are you in the front office? What star player do you want the Knicks to acquire? And we'll start with question number one. We'll start with question number one. Is this team an offensive team? Is this team an offensive team? What say you? What do the Knicks fans say? And if this is your first time rocking on the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. If you're watching this live, make sure you hit the like button and comment in the comment section. Of course, you all know that members of the channel and super chats get priority over all the comments that'll be put on the joint, right? And if you want to have priority, hey man, consider becoming a member of the channel. Help us pay the bills around here. Help us contribute to the content. And if you're watching this on replay, welcome. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. We'll see your comments after the fact, of course. Right? But consider joining our Patreon. Our Patreon is out at Blorange Tears. Y'all know the vibe. Y'all know the vibe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the Knicks schedule from ESPN, NBA, teams, New York Knicks schedule. Right? So the Knicks have scored under 100 points. 1, 2, wow. Out of 25 games, the Knicks have scored under 100 points twice. The Knicks have scored under 100 points twice. That's crazy, right? The Knicks have scored under 100 points twice. How many times have the Knicks scored 130? 130 points is a OD number. That number should not even be real life, but I'm going to see how many times they scored 130. The Knicks scored 131 2 times. The Knicks have scored 130 points twice. In one season through 25 games. So I'll ask again, for the people that says defense wins championships, is this team an offensive team? So now I'm going to go to team statistics on ESPN.com. ESPN.com, NBA stats team complete leaders the Knicks average 114.5 points per game. That number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th. That's 15th in the NBA. So they're middle of the pack. Woodshed 1914 is in the building. Salute everybody. Give it up for the big boss man. The big boss man is in the building. The big boss man says in today's NBA, defense wins games, offense wins championships. Salute to big boss man because what he did there was really slick. Right? What he did there was really slick because back in the day, those things were vice versa. Offense wins games and defense wins championships. So now he flipped it. He reversed it. He reversed it like what's the name, Daddy from Boomerang? Marcus, you got to reverse it. What's my man named Tyler? That's his name? Like Tyler Daddy. Yeah. The big boss man reversed it like Tyler Daddy. You got to reverse it. So he reversed it. Right? Defense wins games, but offense wins championships. Dripmore is in the building. Jeremy, what's good, man? So it wouldn't be fair for me to point out the Knicks are 15th in scoring and not point out where they are in defense. Right? So the Knicks are 9th in points per game given up. And at one point, they were first. The Knicks went from first in opponents' points per game to 9th. But that's not really fair, right? That's not really fair either, because just because teams score a lot or a little points on you is not a real true indicator of how good your defense is, right? The Knicks are 18th in the NBA in field goal percentage against. Teams shoot 48% from the floor against the Knicks. And teams shoot 37.7% from three against the Knicks. Good for 22nd. The perimeter defense recently, from our observation. Yo, Alberto was good. Craig is in the building. Tim, what's good, man? So is this team an offensive team? Well, before last night, or I'm sorry, what Saturday night's game. Before Saturday night's game, the announcers from the Clippers said Mike Fratello said he spoke with the Knicks coaching staff, and they are upset about the team's defense. and they're trying to figure out answers to correct it. I have an answer for the reason why the defense has been hit or miss lately. It's what Kerry Cox said. The Knicks are small. Now, if you want to point out the fact that Kawhi Leonard roasted Julius Randle, hey man, Julius Randle played pretty good defense on Kawhi, and I know the Randle haters will the first thing they'll say is no he didn't, no he didn't. Yes he did. Yes he did. I mean, there's only so much you can do to an offensive player nowadays without the offense has all the advantages nowadays. You can barely touch an offensive player now without getting a foul call. The big boss man says they have no answer for the absence of Mitch and having 0 wing defenders. Nick Yak in the building. Nick Yak says quickly defense was horrible lately. Yeah, Nick Yak. You know what? And I was talking to IKBM Dre about this the other day. The reason being is because we saw quickly on and this is almost like a pandemic. Quickly gets caught on switches underneath the rim, and guys just shoot over the top of Quickly. Right? It's not like he's not there, but he's 6'2", and I don't care how long his arms are, and I don't care how high he can jump or whatever, if he can jump, right? When you have Jaylen Brown shooting over Quickly, it's a mismatch. I'm sorry. When you have Drew Holiday shooting over Quickly, it's a size mismatch. When you have Derek White shooting over Quickly, it's a size mismatch. And we have and what I notice is we have guys brought in here for defense specifically, and Knicks fans rarely mention their name. What's Quentin Grimes here for? What's Josh Hart here for? What's Dante DiVincenzo here for? What do they do? What's their primary job? Because even though Jalen Brunson's defense is improved, nobody expects Jalen Brunson to be a top 30 defender all 82 games. Nobody expects that. Nobody expects Jalen Brunson to be a top 30 defender all year. And last I checked, I think he slid down some. I don't know how far. I don't want to speak out of turn. But if you have my thing is I think some of us are complaining about Randall's defense. Right? When we should be complaining that some people are even complaining about Brunson's defense. And instead of complaining about Brunson and Randall's defense, we should be complaining about names that we rarely even mention. Dante DiVincenzo got scorched by Devin Booker the other night. Right? Got scorched by Booker. You know, and I understand it's Devin Booker. I understand that. And so when I mention it, I don't mention it without solid reasoning. Is this team just an offensive team? I think this team is just an offensive team. I think this team, it's like a lot of things in life. You buy something or you acquire something thinking it's going to be one thing and it turns out to be something else. It is what it is. Y'all have done that before. As humans, we do it all the time. We get something thinking it's going to be one thing, we get it, and it winds up being something else. It ends up being something else. It's part of life. B-baller for real is in the building. B-baller for real definitely got jokes about offensive. I'm definitely offended. Yeah, I know. He got jokes. I got you. I got you. Here's the thing. You see the arrow changing direction on both. You see the offense getting way better and the defense getting way worse. Right? It's not just a Boston Celtics thing. Right? It's not just a Milwaukee Bucks thing. Right? It's not just those isolated things. It's not. Right? It's not just, you played two title contenders and your offense and your defense look different. No, we gave up 144 to the Clippers. We gave up 144 to the Clippers, and truth be told, if this game wasn't over in 3.5 quarters, they could have scored 150, 155 on us. The Clippers could have possibly scored 160 on us if this game wasn't over 6 minutes into the fourth quarter. But here's the thing that I want here's the thing that I want to clarify. Right? Here's the thing I want to clarify. Are the Knicks taking more shots, or is their offense improving? I think it's twofold. For one, the Knicks have gone from being a team that shot 43% from the floor to a team that's shooting 46% from the floor. Pastor J is in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Queens is in the building. Salute the Queens. Salute the Queens, New York. Salute to the greatest borough God ever created, the Bronx, New York. Because if it wasn't for the Bronx, you already know how it go. ... You already know how it go. I went to St. John's University. Salute the Queens. Salute to the Bronx. Salute to Fordham. Salute to the other boroughs, Manhattan, Staten Island. It's another borough. I keep forgetting them. Salute to Newark and Jersey City. Salute to Long Island, Brentwood, Central Islip, all my cousins and them out in Central Islip, Brentwood, Inwood, South Bronx, Bronx River, Far Rock. Salute to all the areas in New York. Salute to South Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan, Long Island, Central Islip, Brentwood, Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle. Shout out to Williamsburg, Red Hook, Coney Island, East Flatbush, Harlem. Shout out to people outside of the New York tri-state area. Shout out to all of our fans and everybody in Brazil. Shout out to all our people in Brazil that watch on a daily basis. All our loyal listeners in Brazil, in Portugal, and Puerto Rico. Shout out to all our loyal listeners in the Philippines, DMing. Shout out to all our Filipinos that like DMing, asking them mad hard questions. Uncle Freezie, why you so hard on Randall? I'm not hard on Randall, man. Well, if you don't like Randall, you could just sign Kai Soto. I know Kai Soto is out there, everybody. I know Kai Soto was out there. I know. So is this team an offensive team? Yes. You can see the direction of the team. You can see the arrow for defense and offense go in two different directions, and it's right here in plain sight. It's right there in plain sight. This team is scoring. I'm going to go back to their schedule. This team in the last 10 games, I think they're scoring about 120 a game. So yeah, 122, 122. I'm sorry, 122, 139, 113, 136, 123, 122, 119, 118, 115, 113, 100, 100, 122, 120, 116, right? So today is the 18th. If you go back a calendar month, right? December 18th, November 18th, we scored 122. We scored 100 against the Timberwolves, 100 against Miami, 113 against Phoenix, then 115, 118, 119, 122, 123, 136, 113, 122, 122. I'm sorry, 139, 122. Is this team an offensive team? Yes. Yes. I'm going to say this team is an offensive team, but not by design, but by circumstance. I think circumstance has forced this team to be a offensive team. should you give Tom Quiet Money? Should you give Tom Thibodeau credit for this team being an offensive team? I'm gonna ask the Bronx native, Quiet Money. Yo, Quiet Money, I couldn't even get it out right. Quiet Money, I couldn't even get it out right. Quiet Money, I couldn't even get it out right, bro. Yo, I'm gonna ask the Staten Island native, Quiet Money. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Nick Yak said, Riverhead, he out here representing. Okay. All right, Long Island. All right, Long Island. I see you. Yo. Yo. Alawise representing, bro. Yeah, man. Quiet, but hey, but all jokes aside, bro. All jokes aside. All jokes aside, bro. It's not where you from, it's where you at, right? All jokes aside, it's not about where you from, it's where you at, right? That's what some people say. Right. But do you give credit to Tom Thibodeau for offensive ingenuity, or is Jalen Brunson and Randall orchestrating this offense despite what Tom Thibodeau wants to do defensively? Yeah, Dripmore says straighten it out like Mount Vernon. Yeah, like Mount Vernon, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And I guess that question is not as important as establishing what our real identity is. Because if this is indeed an offensive team, should we or should we not lean into what comes more naturally? Dripmore says, word BK representing. Yeah, shout out, no doubt. Shout out to Crown Heights. Shout out to Bed-Stuy, man. Shout out to East New York. Shout out to Coney Island. Yeah, shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. So if this team is an offensive team, should we lean that way? Should we go get more weaponry? Right? Should we not get should we got East New York in the building for sure? Should we not go get more scorers? If this is the identity, and listen, when I asked you guys this question, is I didn't come in thinking this what it was gonna be, right? I asked this question so that we could peel back the layers together. So that I asked this question so we can embark on discovery together, right? Because a lot of times, like especially after the Clippers game yesterday, I ain't even feel like talking to y'all, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because I ain't have nothing to say. Not that I don't like talking. It's just I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted, man. I was at a point where I couldn't believe what I saw. Right? if this team is an offensive team, should we lean all the way in on what comes natural? For those of y'all that don't like Mitch, and I am not in that group, I love Mitch. Is he my favorite Nick? No. Do I love Mitch? Yes. Y'all already know how I feel about RJ, right? And if you're a Nick player and you're watching this, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, with children. You know how you have your children and you can't say who your favorite child is or whatever, right? Now, it's not like that. Just because, like for instance, just because you're not my favorite Nick doesn't mean I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? It just means that I just like RJ Barrett more than I like everybody else. Right? RJ is my list goes RJ, Quickly, Randall, right? And Quickly and Randall kind of are interchangeable at times. Those are my three. Do I like everybody else? Yes. I mean, am I like IKBM Dre? Am I gonna get a Josh Hart tattoo on my heart? No, I'm not. Big fan Breezy in the building. The Brooklyn Zoo is in the building. What's good? BK representing. Okay, I see you. HP Carlos is in the building. Salute to Portugal in the building. Shout out to HP Carlos in the building. Salute, salute. So should we lean in on offense, all offense? Should we go get more offense, man? Should we go get more offensive firepower? Should we trade for Zach LaVine? Should we try to acquire a Brandon Ingram and just go all in on offense? Should we just establish? Should we just go get just go with it? Jalen Brunson is an offensive weapon. Should we just embrace it? Should we just embrace it? Should we tell RJ that we don't need top 10 defense, right? Should we tell RJ that we don't need listen, what if RJ Barrett was not an elite defender? And what if RJ was giving you 23, 6, and 6, like he was on pace for at the beginning of the season? Right now, RJ Barrett is a one heck of an NBA defender. Right now, RJ Barrett is one heck of an NBA defender. But a lot of us are thinking, man, we need RJ to be more consistent offensively. What if RJ Barrett just leaned all the way in on offense and you had three guys every night scoring 22 points a game? What if Quickly wasn't focused on defense on the second unit and could just be himself on offense? What if you had Quickly at 18 points a game? How would you feel about Quickly then? What if RJ was an offensive weapon instead of a defensive weapon? How would you feel about RJ Barrett then? NBA.com defensive. Okay. Defensive win shares, Anthony Edwards is still number one. That's amazing. And RJ Barrett took a tumble. RJ Barrett is not even in the top. RJ Barrett's not in the top 50? Something about this doesn't seem right. Am I overlooking RJ? Did RJ Barrett take that steep of a tumble? Let me look for the. I'm gonna look for the closest Knick. The Knicks don't have anybody in the top 50 defensively. Yo, is the Knicks defense that bad? We don't. So nobody in the top 50 in defensive win shares. The first person I got to is Josh Hart at 63. And no one else is in the top 100. Wow. The next closest person is RJ Barrett at 122. Defensive win shares. And then Mitchell Robinson at 139. And the Knicks only have 3 players in the top 150. That's Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, and Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Yo, that's crazy to me. How about opponents? I want to see opponents' field goal percentage. That's what I want to see. Yeah, this is nuts. If the Knicks have RJ Barrett, Josh Hart, and Mitchell Robinson in the top 150, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. All right, let me try. I'm going to look at offensive win shares. I'm going to look at offensive stats. Right? That way I can have a clearer understanding of what I'm looking at. Player. offensive rating. I want to look at that. All right. So I'm looking for the first Nick. All right. All right. All right. How about we do net rating? There we go. Now we cooking. All right. Net rating. Trey Murphy leads the NBA in net rating, but he only played 7 games. Isaiah Joe, Fournier only played 15 minutes. I'm looking for a New York Knick. Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is, I'm sorry. Josh Hart again. Advanced Analytics loves Josh Hart. Josh Hart is basically our most impactful player, basically. Ryan, thank you for the generous contribution. Ryan says, whose defense is bad? The Packers or the I'm gonna say the Knicks, even though I'm a Chicago Bears fan and would love to say the Packers. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. So I'm just gonna move on a little bit really quickly, man, so that I'm gonna throw the link in the chat, but I want to move on a little bit with some of the questions. And then that way, you know, say we'll have a thing so that the framework of a conversation so that we can stay on topic. Right? Are our role players overrated or miscast? Right? Are our young players still 24 and under star caliber? How valuable is Julius Randle? How confident are you in the front office? And what star player do you want the Knicks to acquire? Right. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Right. And I know sometimes we get Knicks as Knicks fans, we get so whiny, like crybaby-ish, that we'll try to answer all 6 questions with one answer. Like we'll try to go on for like 7 minutes with one answer, like a 7-minute answer. Well, if Tibbs if if Tibbs will stop forcing Randall the ball and pass it to Grimes, like, nah, man, these are separate questions. These are all separate questions, man. Let's answer them. If Jalen Brunson will stop shooting so much. Yeah, relax, y'all. Relax. So, but yeah, man. Are our role players overrated or miscast? Hmm. I think that's hmm. That's an interesting question. Because you can say they're overrated because they're miscast, and then at the same time, you can say they're miscast and that's why they're overrated, right? Right? Because Josh Hart being a scorer is probably something we don't want to see. Dante DiVincenzo being a high volume 3-point shooter is something that we're probably not used to seeing. You know, RJ Barrett, and right now he's a role player. Right now, RJ's a role player, kind of in that vein of Harrison Barnes, a high draft pick that turns out to be a role player at the moment. At the moment. At the moment, right? I would say our role players are definitely trying to figure it out, but I think they are miscast because they may have gone into training camp thinking one thing and the season is playing out in a different way. So what you needed in September is not what you need in December. And what you need in December may not be what you need in March, April, and May. And I know that sounds like a difficult question to ask. And I'm not asking that question because I want to stump you or because I want to appear to be more intelligent than I am. I don't want to do that. I need answers to help me figure it out. And I think a lot of y'all do too. Like we're trying to figure out what it is that we're watching. And not that we dislike it, it's just we just want to know. What are we watching? What are we witnessing? Yo, Elvis is in the building. A lot of us, me specifically, right? We don't care about being the spotlight or the smartest person in the room, none of that stuff. We just want to know what's going on. Because we preach defense, but yet the defense is average at best. And recently it's been poor. And this was happening before Mitch got hurt. Mitch has only missed 3 games. Mitch missed 3 games. And before Mitch missed those 3 games, we gave up 130. I'm sorry, Mitch just missed 4 games. I'm sorry. 4 games. We gave up 133, 146, 106, 112. I mean, yeah, we were giving up points before that, man. So yo, what our franchise go from I don't know. As a fan, and I know I'm going back to point 1, but let me ask y'all this. As a fan, what do you expect? And if our role players are overrated, do you shuffle the deck? Do you shuffle the deck? Do you start Grimes again and send Dante to the bench? I'm not going to lie to you. Ever since Dante has been starting, this defense has been Am I the only one that noticed? And I like Dante too, by the way. I'm not hating on Dante. I'm not hating on Dante. So don't take it that way. Right? Just take it for information purposes only. This is just a conversation. I'm not hating on the Delaware Jordan, right? But since Grimes has gone to the bench, this defense has been trash. Shot Legacy is in the building. And I can't be the only one that noticed. Do you shuffle the deck chairs? Do you give away some of this offense for more defense? And why? Right? Since Dante entered the starting lineup, I think we're scoring like 17 or 18 more points a game or something crazy like that. But we're also giving up like 20 more points a game or something like that. And I know we don't have a control. We don't have a control element, right? We don't because those 5 games are against different teams and in different situations and all that stuff. So you don't know for sure if it's directly linked to the Grimes DiVincenzo swap or is it a byproduct of the schedule? We don't know specifically if. And so I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to make a suggestion, right, to reshuffle the deck chairs in order for us to get better defense and better offense at the same time. Hannah Montana, get the best of both worlds. I'm going to say this, and I know the entire borough of the Bronx is going to be upset at me, and the entire borough of Queens is going to be upset at me, right? Maybe some Long Island is going to be upset at me, right? I think the answer may be starting Josh Hart. Start Josh Hart. Right? This is your group. These are your starters. Your backcourt is RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson. That's your starting backcourt. RJ Barrett at the 2, Jalen Brunson at point. Right? Your forwards would be Julius Randle and Josh Hart. And your center is Isaiah Hartenstein. Off the bench, your second unit is Quickly at point, Ragu at the 2, Grimes at the 3, and Taj Gibson as the big off the bench. And what that does is it shores up a ton of things at once, right? Thing number 1 that ensures happens, right? Your bench unit gets unlocked with floor spacing where Grimes and Ragu and Quickly can all have floor spacing where they can operate and score. That unit also can defend everywhere. And your second unit big, Taj Gibson, is only going to give you about somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes a night. And with the starting unit, how that is impacted, you get floor spacing from Hartenstein and Hart and Randall and RJ, where the floor is always wide open for Randall, Brunson, and RJ to drive. I think by starting Josh Hart and Hartenstein, you get to unlock RJ Barrett. And you put a big guard next to Jalen Brunson. I think the two players that's going to be impacted the most by you making this, because Josh Hart's numbers are going to be the same regardless. Josh Hart is a 9-point per game scorer. Josh Hart is going to be 9 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2 assists, maybe a steal and a half, 2 steals as a starter. But what it does is it opens the floor wide open for Julius Randle. Right? But the two players impacted the most, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett. Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett. And I understand what most of y'all are gonna say. Most of y'all are gonna say, no matter what you do, we still don't have Giannis. Hey man, you ain't never getting Giannis. You are never wake up. You ain't never getting Giannis. You ain't never getting Jason Tatum. You ain't never getting Brandon Ingram. You ain't never getting Paul George. Because I know a lot of y'all, because when I was formulating this, I knew Knicks fans would be like, but it don't matter because we don't have Paolo Banchero. You ain't never getting him. You ain't never getting Anthony Edwards. You'll never get Kawhi Leonard. You'll never get Devin Booker. You'll never get Victor Wembanyama. You'll never get Mikal Bridges. You'll never get Jaylen Brown. And so to wish on a star, to be like, well, maybe one day Joel Embiid will wake up angry. Relax. You'll never get Joel Embiid. You'll never get Joel Embiid. You'll never get Jokic. All of this stuff, like we're saving assets for the day that maybe one day. No, that day is never coming. We've been waiting for that day for 50 years, and that day ain't came yet. Right? People DMing me. Nah, man, they saving assets to do a Melo type trade. You point out Melo, and then I'll wait on that trade. You tell me what star has connections to New York City, wife worked for a radio station, lived in New York, went to college in the state of New York, wants to come back here so he can lay down family roots in the city because he has connections to New York. You point out that player right now, and then I'll be on board with you. We out here acting like the Melo thing is something that you can do. is just something to do. Uncle Freezie, they just saving assets to do the Melo trade all over again. You wait and see. We're going to have a Melo player and RJ and Brunson and Randall. That day is never coming. Wake up. Carmelo Anthony had roots in New York. His wife worked here. He went to school at Syracuse. He got people here. He wanted to come here to lay down roots. He was connected here. And y'all telling me that a dude from Cary, North Carolina is going to want to come to New York? No. Y'all telling me a dude with no connection to New York who is from Buckhead, Georgia, is going to all of a sudden want to come here? Man, y'all better shuffle these chairs y'all got. Y'all better worry about Josh Hart and RJ Barrett. We out here thinking just because we wear orange and blue, people gonna want to come here. But Uncle Freezie, when the games start, they lower the lights, and it's like being on Broadway when you play here. So what? Visitors come here and set personal records all the time, go to the club and leave. As Knicks fans, we got, man, listen, that pie in the sky stuff that we be dreaming about all the time, we got to get out. Man, listen, we got to get our lives together. But Uncle Freezie, SGA might get disgruntled with Oklahoma City, and he the king of Oklahoma City. He getting money in OKC. He the man in OKC. And guess what OKC is doing? They are winning. And they wear orange and blue. And yellow. And purple and white. And with all them funky colors they be wearing. As a Knicks fan, man, we need to get our lives together, man. We think that one day Jokic is going to wake up mad and demand a trade to the Knicks. And only because we are the Knicks. No other reason, no other thing makes sense except we are the Knicks. And we ain't done nothing for 50 years. This organization has done nothing for 50 years but treat our stars terribly. Run Clyde Frazier out of town. Yeah, I was there. And don't try to tell me they didn't. I was there. Don't tell me that they didn't, when they got all they could get out of Clyde Frazier, they treated him terribly as a player. Booing that man. Talking about trade Clyde Frazier. I was there. I saw it. The end of Pat Ewing career. Cats hating on Pat Ewing. Amari Stoudemire came here and gave us everything he had for that little bit of time. And then when his body gave out, we was ready to ship him out of town. And that man gave us everything he had. Nobody can tell me that Amari Stoudemire didn't want to be here and didn't give us everything he had until he had nothing left. And all we did was turn on him. And don't get me started about Melo. Don't get me started about Melo. Don't get me started about Melo. Y'all got me yelling in this quiet house in the middle of the night. Don't get me started about Melo. Booing that man when he was ISOing. Y'all, Knicks fans hate the word ISO. The Knicks don't even have players that's in the top 5 in ISO, and we hate the word ISO. We want team ball. Well, if you had a team, you could play ball. But when you have 1 or 2 good players, guess what you have to do with 1 or 2 good players? Cats be DMing me, make my stomach turn. Man, we got to stop ISOing, man. We got to start passing the ball, man. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, but look at the scoreboard. What's the scoreboard tell you? Oh, the scoreboard don't mean nothing. You a fool. The scoreboard mean everything. It's why you play the game. Man, I hate ISO ball, Uncle Freezie. I don't want to see ISO ball. Well, I tell you what, go get 5, 7, 8, 10 great players, and you'll see the ball moving around the floor. But when you have 1 or 2 good players, you are going to see ISO ball. And I shouldn't have to explain that, because certain things that are known shouldn't have to be said. But things that are known with us have to be said loudly. I hate ISO ball, Uncle Freezie. Make me sick. The ball keeps sticking. Who do you want to shoot? Mitchell Robinson? You want Mitch to shoot? Oh, let me guess. You want Quentin Grimes to shoot? You want RJ Barrett to shoot 3 for 16 again? We wouldn't ISO if we had 5 great players playing together. But we don't have 5 great players. And the 5 players that we have don't play together. They just came together. DiVincenzo is new. Hart is new. Hartenstein is new. Brunson is new. Grimes is young. Quickly is young. And y'all want us to play some type of team ball where everybody touch it and everybody, 7 people average 17 points a game? That'll never happen in today's NBA. We want 7 guys to average 17 points a game, and everybody average 7 rebounds, and everybody average 6 assists. That'll never happen. What this Knicks team needs to do is, before they go shopping, figure out what you have. Because if these players right now that we have don't have it, they need to be in that trade for the star that y'all looking for. We out here talking about Julius Randle shoot too much. Jalen Brunson don't pass enough. How about Emmanuel Quickly is not efficient? How about we say that? We out here talking about Brunson don't pass enough. Randle shoot too much. How about Mitchell Robinson add some offense? Would Randall have to shoot as much if RJ Barrett was a 50% from the floor guy? Y'all tell me. Would Jalen Brunson keep looking off Grimes if Grimes would shoot it? Our priorities, our Knicks fans, our priorities are in the wrong place. Our priorities are in the wrong place. That's why I keep asking y'all, are you sure you know what you're watching? Because listen, I know YouTube is full. I know YouTube is full of people that have expert opinions. I know that. YouTube is full of people that have expert opinions about the Knicks. But are you sure you know what you're watching? When somebody tell you that the Knicks ISO too much, are you sure we're not ISOing at times because RJ Barrett is 3 of 16? Quentin Grimes won't shoot. Josh Hart attacks imaginary closeouts. Mitchell Robinson has no offense. Hartenstein can only play limited minutes. These are the things that you see. I don't have to tell you these things. Y'all put this stuff in the chat. Y'all put these things in the chat on a daily basis. But how come we don't put all these things together so that we can recognize what we're seeing? A thing that y'all, one of the things that y'all don't even talk about in the chat, and y'all my people, is that since Dante DiVincenzo has been in the starting lineup, Julius Randle doesn't take a whole bunch of three-point shots. Tell me y'all been talking about that. Y'all tell me that since Dante DiVincenzo has been in the starting lineup, that Julius Randle has not been jacking up threes. I wonder why that is. Because the shooting guard is shooting. That's why. The shooting guard is not afraid to shoot. That's why. That's why. A lot of us, that's what I'm saying, collectively, y'all are smart, right? As a group, y'all are smart and put a lot of smart stuff in the chat. But at times, I don't think we take all the information that's in the chat and put it together. Like somebody told me, I'm just going to pick somebody random. David L. Guess what somebody told me in a DM? Somebody in a DM said, hey, you notice now that Mitchell Robinson is gone, that Randall don't rebound like that. I told you that Mitch was the reason why Randall was rebounding. On the surface, that sounds smart. But if you watch basketball, you know that was dumb. We started this conversation talking about how much the Knicks offense has improved, right? Here's the thing. If you're missing less shots, there are less rebounds to get. And if the other team is missing less shots, there is less rebounds to get. That's math. That's math. I was like, okay, let me check out his rebound percentage. Julius Randle's rebound percentage is exactly the same. No difference. Not impacted. Not impacted at all from what I saw. But we'll say things like, I told you Mitchell Robinson is the reason why Julius Randle was getting double-digit rebounds. And then I looked at his career before Mitchell Robinson, and he was averaging 9.5, 10 rebounds a game before he even started playing with Mitchell Robinson. Julius Randle was a rebounding machine coming out of high school. But sometimes we get on these runaway freight train narratives and we can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes we just got to take a step back and look at things for what they are. Right? And when we take a step back and look at things for what they are, Joel Embiid ain't coming here. Jason Tatum ain't coming here. Sorry. LaMelo Ball, he ain't coming here. Trae Young not coming here. Paolo Banchero, he ain't coming here. Zion, he ain't coming here. Brandon Ingram, nope. Luka ain't coming here. Y'all think Devin Booker is gonna wake up one day angry and demand a trade to the Knicks? When the one dude that did demand a trade specifically said he don't want to play for the Knicks. We got to get our ducks in a row. Now, is the front office, listen, does the front office have to do something? Absolutely. They got to do something. Because the alternative can't be nothing. Nothing can't be their alternative. What did B-Baller for real say? B-Baller for real said yesterday, you said we deserve better. Today we should deal with it. Hey, B-Baller for real, have you been listening at all? Have you been listening? Let me see, is my mic? I trust me. I know what I said. I'm a witness to it. Right? I know what I said. Trust me. I'm a witness to it. I'm a witness to it. Trust me. I was there. I was there when it was said. Trust me. What I'm saying to you guys is this. It's simple. Or maybe let me dispense it better. Let me dispense it better. The front office has an obligation to improve the team. That's one thing, right? Separately, Knicks fans wishing on the star, thinking that a player is going to come here because it's divinity, it's something else. The front office has an obligation to improve the team, right? But us as fans can't believe a star is going to come here through divine intervention. That's a separate thought. Devin Booker's not going to wake up one day and be mad at his team and say, hey, trade me to the Knicks because they wear orange. It just don't happen like that. And on a separate other thought is this. Until the front, and this is a separate thought, and maybe I should have been more clear, right, with these thoughts. I didn't know I was going to have to say separate these things, but on a separate thought, you got to do the best you can with what you have until the front office does that thing. Does that mean Dante DiVincenzo to the bench for Josh Hart? Absolutely, in my mind. I think RJ and Brunson is the backcourt. I think the front court guys are Hartenstein, and Randall. Right? And basically what I'm telling you is that your starting lineup should not be small. Have a big starting lineup and go small off the bench. Anybody understand? Yeah, did y'all understand where I was trying to go with that? Don't have your starting lineup be small. Go big in your starting lineup. And if you have to be small, let it be off the bench. Quickly, Grimes, Ragu, Taj Gibson. David L says JB wanted to come here. Another could too. Who is it though? Hey, David L, who is it? Do you know who that person is? Who's that other person that desperately wants to be a Knick? Who's that other player that has connections to New York City? Maybe they're from New York. Maybe their parents live and work in New York City. Maybe one of their coaches from the past is from New York City or something. And if y'all know who it is, if that player exists, then you have to go get him. I guess that goes to the question number 6. I guess before we get out of here, question number 6. What star player do you want the Knicks to acquire? Man, I can't believe y'all got me in. David L, y'all got me in here yelling in this quiet house in the middle of the night. Because cats think Anthony Edwards is just gonna wake up one night and just be like, trade me to the Knicks. Knicks fans think one day Jason Tatum is gonna slip and fall and wake up with amnesia and be like, I always wanted to play for the Knicks. all these things that I'm saying to you, if you don't muddy the waters, think about these things separately. What I'm saying to you, the front office owes you an obligation to improve the team. That's why they got the job. Their job is to improve the roster. And they made a promise to you that they took the job in the hopes of bringing a championship to New York. If you're the coaching staff, you got to figure out what you have right now and put the best units on the floor. That's separate from what the front office does. And if you're a fan like myself, you can't get caught up in dream chasing, thinking one day Victor Wembanyama is just gonna wake up and say he want to play for the Knicks. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You've never seen it happen. And if you're a fan, and listen, the reason why I got so passionate about this point, real quick before I go, y'all hang in there with me. Stay right here for like 2 minutes. The reason why I'm so passionate about this point is because as a man in his 50s that watch you guys, like I watch Julu and David L. and B Baller for Real just as much as I watch the Knicks, right? I watch y'all. I rock with y'all just as much as I rock with the Knicks, right? Because we have a unit of the thing. We got a chat. Everybody come together and rock, right? The camera just went on the fritz for a second there. I'm sorry. Right? But the reason why I'm so passionate about this thing is because as a 50-something-year-old fan, I've been through too much of the same thing over and over and over and over again. So when I watch the 20-somethings and the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings go through it, I want to warn y'all that this has been happening for years. And listen, I'm not trying to be Papa Bear. I'm just trying to put up a warning sign. Right? B-Baller for Real say he 49. So he with me on this. For a Knicks fan that's about 49, 50 years old, you already been through this too much to let somebody in their 30s and 20s go through it. Because think about it. If you in your 20s, you ain't never seen good Knicks basketball. Not for an extended amount of time. If you in your 20s, you ain't never seen 6 or 7 straight good years of Knicks basketball. Right? If you in your 60s, you were a kid when the Knicks were winning championships. I know this. I'm not in my 60s yet. But I was a little boy. I was an arm baby when the Knicks were winning championships. Kindergarten. Those are not my championships. Those are my pops in them championships. Those are my uncles in them championships. Those are my school teacher, my principal, my high school coach. Those are their championships. But over the years, we've been watching the same thing too much over and over and over again. And so when I put these warning signs out here for you, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to tell you what happened to us. They ran Clyde Frazier out of town and then welcome him back. Talk about, well, man, we just passionate. Nah, bro. We ran Pat Ewing out of town. Yo, Pat, we love you, man. We just passionate. We just want a winner. Nah, bro. You don't treat your people like that. We ran Melo out of town. Wave your no trade, Melo. Wave it. Wave it. Nah, bro, you don't do your people like that. Anyway, I'm out of here. It's been your man, the #1 Chief Rocket Knicks universe. We're going to try to get up. We're going to try to do it again at about 9. We're going to try. We're going to try to do it about 9. If y'all already know what it is, man. So if the business phones start ringing, it's going to put me behind. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is, man. So I'm going to try if that, got to make the donuts, y'all. Y'all know what it is, right? But we'll try to do it again about 9. Hopefully we'll have some different stuff to talk about, right? I appreciate y'all rocking with me in the middle of the night, almost 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And what I want to say to y'all, man, too, is before we go, we got the Lakers tonight. Hopefully we can pull out a W. Hopefully we can pull out a W. But no matter what happens over these next 2 weeks or so, Knicks fans, we got to listen to each other and respect each other and trust what our eyes are telling us. You don't always have to be force-fed a narrative. And I'm sorry if it sounded like I was preaching a narrative. I was not. What I was doing, or what I was attempting to do, was encouraging you to trust what your eyes are telling you are seeing. That's it. That's it. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good night, man. I'll holler at y'all later.